Well, I've got the nut or plug removed from the float bowl at the bottom of the carburettor, and I've got the fuel tap open. The tank is quite full of fuel, and sure enough, as I expected, we've got little more than a fast dribble of fuel coming into the float chamber there. Now, believe it or not, I know that people regard these old 500 Bullet machines as not particularly powerful. When you want to shove the weight of this thing along at about 70 miles an hour with a rider on it, you need more fuel going into the pot than that there. And as I suspected when I was riding it, and I noticed the hesitance, it almost seemed as if it even felt as if the engine was starting to tighten up at one point, but it was just gasping for fuel. So I've got to improve on that, and the first place I'm going to look at is that sealing washer in this tap, where this part of it screws on to hold the filter, the little filter in place, and I'm sure that I'll be able to get better flow than that coming into the float bowl, and perhaps that'll be a big step towards helping this thing perform properly, because that's just not enough. If you want to potter around at 45 or 50 miles an hour all day on the flat with no wind against you, that would be fine, but much more than that, and you really want much more fuel than that going in if possible. A moments later, and we've got a much better flow coming through from the fuel tap to the carburettor, and that was by, once again, as once before, substituting that rubber sealing washer that goes in there before you screw in the see-through, the clear filter holder, with an O-ring, as the sealing washer tends to cover a large proportion of the hole letting fuel through from the tank when the tap is open, so it's sort of counterproductive. Here it is, I've covered this subject before. It's a rather flat rubber washer, and the sort of difference between the outside diameter and the inside diameter are enough that there's material there that can partially and almost completely close off the hole that's going to let fuel through when the tap is open into the filter area and then out to the carburettor. So I expect that my fuel starvation problems on this machine that I experienced when I rode it before should be now be a thing of the past. Fingers crossed, as I like to say.